The phrase memento mori tends to evoke thoughts of death. The words themselves sound heavy, maybe even a little unsettling. After all, the phrase literally translates to remember that you must die. For many people, that sounds pessimistic. Why would anyone want to spend time thinking about something so uncomfortable? But what if that's not what the teaching was really about? What if the deeper purpose was never to make people focus on death, but to help them see life more clearly? Because hidden inside this ancient phrase is an observation about human behavior that feels just as relevant today as it did 2,000 years ago. And it begins with a mistake many of us make even without realizing it. The Stoics didn't invent the phrase, but they return to it constantly. One tradition associated with ancient Rome tells of victorious generals being reminded, even in moments of triumph, that they were still mortal. Whether the details happen exactly as the story is often told is difficult to know. What matters is the idea behind it. Success had a way of making people feel larger than life. The reminder was meant to bring them back to reality, not as a threat and not as a punishment, but as an anchor. Because in a world where disease was common, travel was dangerous, and loss was already visible in daily life, people didn't need reminding that death existed. They needed reminding of something else entirely. Which raises the real question. If everyone already knew that life was short, why keep repeating the phrase? Because the Stoics weren't known for dwelling on death. They were known for trying to understand how to live well. Perhaps Memento Mori wasn't about mortality at all. Perhaps it was about attention. Human beings have a remarkable ability to assume there will always be more time. More time to start, more time to repair a relationship, more time to pursue something meaningful, more time to become the person they hope to be. Most people understand intellectually that life is finite, but understanding something and living as though it's true are often very different things. So Memento Mori wasn't introducing new information, it was interrupting an illusion. The illusion that tomorrow is guaranteed. Because when time feels unlimited, something predictable happens. We postpone, we drift, we tolerate situations we know are unhealthy. We spend years preparing to live rather than actually living. And not because we don't care, but because the future feels abundant. There always seems to be another opportunity waiting somewhere ahead. But when time is viewed as finite, something shifts. Not because life suddenly becomes shorter, but because attention becomes more valuable. Things that once felt urgent begin to reveal themselves as distractions. Arguments that consume days lose some of their importance. Status and comparison seem less compelling. Certain fears start to look smaller than they did before. And questions that were easy to postpone become harder to avoid. What truly matters? What deserves my attention? What am I actually waiting for? Because life is not only shaped by the years we are given, it's shaped by what we repeatedly give our attention to during those years. Suddenly, the focus is no longer death. The focus is life. Think about someone you might know. They've been meaning to call their father more often. Not someday, soon. But there's always something in the way. Work, responsibilities, tiredness. The vague sense that there's time for that later. And 6 months pass, then a year. The relationship doesn't collapse. It just quietly thins. That's often how meaningful things are lost. Not all at once. Not through a dramatic decision, but through small delays repeated so often that they become a direction. This is what the Stoics were pointing at. Not dramatic failure, but the slow, ordinary drift that happens when we assume there's always more time. Clarity rarely arrives all at once, but it has a way of arriving faster when we stop assuming we have unlimited time to find it. Perhaps that's why Memento Mori has endured for centuries. Not because it encourages people to obsess over death, but because it gives people permission to take their own lives seriously. The phrase asks a quiet question. If your time is finite, what deserves more of your attention? Because life is an experience someday and not in the future, but here and now, in the moments we keep assuming we'll have more of. The Stoics understood something that remains easy to forget. Memento Mori doesn't ask us to think about death. It asks us to notice where our focus goes, to notice what we're postponing, to notice what matters before it quietly slips into the category of things we meant to do someday. Because life is rarely changed by a single realization. More often, it's shaped by what we repeatedly give our attention to. And perhaps that's why the phrase has survived for centuries. Not as a reminder that life ends, but as a reminder that life is happening right now.